this is Dave from the Redneck Garage. Well, behind me you can see the Jeep is needing some block sanding and some wet sanding on that primer that we put on this weekend. But first I wanted to tell a story about a customer who called who was frantic because she felt like somebody had broken into her house. Things were messed up and she called us out there, and I hurried on out there to see what was going on. Okay, so I'm out here at this house and fixing the locks, rekeying it, because she thought there was a burglar who broke in, because she came home and there's a bunch of stuff messed up, and evidently there's a raccoon up in the house. So they called the pest control guys out here to get the raccoon. So it wasn't a burglar. So I started laughing at her when she's telling me the story. She's yelling at the builders and saying somebody's got a key to the house, and so this raccoon is so big they couldn't get it out right now. I was going to get a video of them in a cage, but it hadn't come out yet. And they put some cat food and some treats up in the cage, so hopefully it'll go in there. But this dang raccoon is so large that it actually busted the drywall in the attic, falling into the drywall, which means it's pretty dang big. There's a big old hole in the roof, but before that she's screaming, somebody's coming into my house because stuff's messed up. So evidently this thing was running loose in the house and then escaped, went up in the attic, and they're trying to catch the stupid thing. But it's not a lock problem. He was there before she moved in. So it wasn't a burglar, although he did have like a mask on, right? Like a little Batman mask. But hopefully they'll get him out of there soon so she can rest easy and not hear the scurrying up in the attic. Alright, so let's get going on the Jeep. Okay, for everybody that's done a lot of body work, this is just preaching to the choir, but for you new guys that's never done any body work, right? Try to include everyone. What we're going to need is a block, a couple different blocks, and some 400 grit wet or dry sandpaper to sand down this stinking primer, because we're trying to get this flattest, smoothest surface possible. And this is a big one I cut down from an 18-inch because you don't really need one that big usually. And then this is a smaller one. But that's what we're going to be using, and we're going to be flattening it out, making sure that it's flat all the way across. You always use a sanding block, because if you use your fingers like this, you're going to get depressions where your fingers are and it won't be flat. So that's why we use a sanding block, and that's why it's critical. Alright, so this looks really, really good. I'm super happy with it. I've got one dent right here that I need to fix. And almost all the surface imperfections are gone. And now I'll look at it once it's dried. We're going to put one more coat of primer on this and block sand it down again after we do the rest of the back of the truck. And we'll be looking for dents and things, but basically you can't overlook your feel. Like I can feel that edge is rough right down here, so you're going to hit that with a little bit of sandpaper, even though you won't see it very much. But everything else as far as the bodywork looks really good. I'm happy with that. And the main thing is to keep your block flat, parallel to the surface, and don't try to gouge it or, just go over the whole surface over and over until it's flattened out, and that looks super good. And we're going to guide coat this before we do our final paint, and I'll show you how to do that in a later video. But as far as our progress on this, it looks great, and the body work I'm super happy with. So we're going to move on from there. Alright, so this is when it starts getting exciting, when this vehicle starts coming back together after you've had everything apart, and in my case having to throw everything away and just start over with new tub and new frame. I'm getting stuff in, man. It's super cool. We got some inside door handles. Those are super cool. I thought about cleaning the old ones up, but for like 12 bucks I got a pair of new ones, and these are super cool. These are the KC42301 headlights. I wanted to get new headlights for the truck because the old ones are just the old standard type. And so I chose these. I didn't get any of the weird LEDs or the $500 ones. These are 100 and something bucks, $105, $110 for the pair of them. And they look really cool. And it's got the KC highlights emblem right there in the bottom. And I plan on putting some, I love that. That's awesome. Okay, so this is the metallic blue that we picked for the truck, and it looks really good. I like the color for the most part. It's just a little bit dark. If you look If you look down here, it almost looks like at night it's black for sure, and in the light it's just really, really dark. So I thought, okay, without telling Jennifer, we can adjust that a little bit. So let's see how we're going to do that. Here's our original base coat color, Night Watch Blue Metallic. There's the original blue. It's Night Watch Blue Metallic, and it's really, really super, super dark. Pretty cool color. I'd like it just a little bit lighter. A little bit. So I bought some Sonic Blue Metallic, which is in the same color family, same everything else. Let's take a look at that. Okay, you can see that one, and it is lighter, right? I don't know if you can see the kind of color on it compared to the other one. Right there. So here's what I'm thinking is by adding a little bit of this to my original color, it's going to lighten it up just a little bit, enough for me to be happy with it. So I'm going to pour some of this in and hopefully not screw this one up too badly. And that's about half a quart. So I'm going to stir it up and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, and there's the color now with about half a quart of the lighter. And I do like that a little bit better. It's not quite as dark. It's got a little bit more blue, silvery tint to it than the really, really dark. So that's what we're going to be shooting. Got a little more prep on the doors to do. That Bondo that I put is a little bit jacked up, so I got to fix that on the bottom corners where they were bent. And then we'll be shooting the inside of the doors, cutting them in with the paint that we adjusted the color. Okay, so I worked late on the Jeep tonight. I got everything pretty much DA sanded down. I got a little bit of body work on the driver's side on the bottom where it looks like they took a forklift and lifted it up. So it's got a little bit of damage on the very bottom edge, but I can fix that. The doors are being prepped to cut the inside of the doors in, and then my goal is this weekend to put some paint on this baby and get it in clear coat, polish her up, start working on the rest of it. I'm David from Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.